Hello and welcome to the Cinemagraph Masterclass. After all the different cinemagraph that we have learned, now it's time to learn how to make a cinemagraph using the snow overlay effect. So before we begin, I request you to please download the resources in the download section given on this page so that you can practice along with me. So I assume you have done that. So once you have done that, just open Photoshop and create a new document. For this example, I'll again be using this particular resolution, which is 1080 by 1350, because the image which I'm using is in the vertical form, and as you know, for images with vertical form, 1080 by 1350 is a very good resolution on Instagram, as it covers more vertical space as compared to a square post. So I'll hit create. Now let's go back to my computer and see where I have the image stored. So this is the image we are working with. So we'll just drag it and bring it into Photoshop. Perfect. Now guys, it really happens that when you import a picture and it fits perfectly into your canvas, I can definitely say that whoever has shot this picture had this intention of putting it on Instagram. That's exactly why the resolution, the height and width ratio is exactly the same that we had taken, which is 1080 by 1350. So that makes our job a lot more easier. Otherwise I would have had to hit Control Command T and then make it big and small and all that jazz. So now, as you can see, this person is standing in kind of a snow land, and the sky is blue. So the idea is to add some snowy effect which will make this picture come to life, and it will stand out if you post it on social media. So let's go back to the folder and bring our effect. So this is the overlay effect, and generally if you see, these overlay effect will most of the time come in this horizontal resolution, which is 1920 by 1080 for the most part. So since it's black right now, and as we have already learned in the previous lectures that anything that has black background can be easily removed using the blend mode. So I'll go up here and make sure this overlay effect is selected, and I'll click on this particular thing and choose screen and hit OK. I'll show you what happens when you choose screen. So this was the normal mode. I'll click here and choose screen. Well, I'll just show you the other modes also. If you see here, every blend mode does some or the other kind of thing with this layer. It's color dodge, it's overlay. So right now, and for the most part in this entire masterclass, we'll be using this screen or lighten. I'm using screen here. I'll hit enter. Now to see if there's any animation or not, first we need to go to Windows and enable the timeline. Now I'll hit create video timeline, and this little icon can be used to zoom out or zoom in. So I'd like to keep it till here. Okay, I think it's a pretty long effect, so we'll make it short. I'll make it up to around 20 seconds, and also increase the length of my image so that it matches with the effect. Now if I scrub through I can see it's doing a pretty good job. So if we take a look, the effect is happening only in the half region of this picture and not on the upper part of this picture, which looks very odd. And right now it's feel as if this snow effect is magically coming from this particular imaginary, some kind of line is there because of which it's coming here, and that's certainly not the look that we are aiming for. So, and as you can see here, there is the sharp boundary of that overlay effect because it was a video, if you can see it. So this particular line can be visible even if you change it into screen, which is very obvious. So one way to get rid of that is by selecting this layer, coming down here, clicking on this thing and making levels adjustment layer, right clicking, creating a clipping mask, and then dragging the layer all the way to the right so it will vanish. So it has vanished, but it still does not solve our problem, which is occupying this particular region also. So in this case we won't be using the levels, we'll just delete it. And what I'll do is I'll make a duplicate of this layer and then I'll show you what has to be done. So I'll hit Control or Command J, so it has made one duplicate. I'll hit Control or Command T and move it up. So now basically we have now two layers. One is for the middle portion, another one is in the top portion. And also we will drag the playhead here and bring it in the beginning. Now also, if you can see it, there's no snow falling in this ground area, which is again very odd. So we'll do the same thing. We'll create a copy of it by hitting Control or Command J. Then we'll hit Control Command T and bring it down here. And then on the timeline, we'll also bring it here. Make sure guys, all the three layers of the snow are aligned properly, otherwise we won't be getting the effect that we are looking for. Now if we scrub through the timeline, we can see a pretty good snowy effect. Now all we have to do is, let's zoom in a bit and let's just make it up to 20 seconds. Now I think it's pretty good to go. So if you want to see, you can hit play and watch the animation here inside Photoshop, but I prefer it to see it once it has been exported. So once everything is done, just come here, click on this icon, hit render video and give this thing a name. So I'll be giving it Guy Snow and I'll select a folder. So this is the folder, and do not change any of the settings here, and make sure you have this work area selected here, and additionally make sure you have the same resolution that we had taken in the beginning of this lecture, and preset quality should be high quality, and that is it. So once everything is done, just hit render. So depending on the configuration of your PC or Mac, it might take some time to export this video, and the better configuration of your PC is, the faster will be the exporting time. So I'll just pause here and come back when it's done. So I think it's done. Now let's go back to the folder and see the final result. So this was the image that we started with, and now we have our final animation here. And in my opinion, it looks very classy and very charismatic. I'm just loving the feel of it, and go ahead and you can also make this. It's very easy. So my dear friends, that was it for this lecture. I hope you learned something new. You had fun learning it. Now go ahead and practice this using the resources in the download section. I will see you all in the next lecture. Thank you so much.